Right now, keeping your kids safe at home. We're talking with the Madison School District about mental health, the potential for domestic abuse, and other concerns ahead of a virtual start to the school year.
Will we get another coronavirus relief bill? Big question this morning. The sticking point as we track negotiations in Washington.
And it's a little hazy outside as you wake up this morning as humidity levels start to rise across southern Wisconsin. All the full forecast coming up.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks. Happy Friday. It is August 14th. There's new data out from the CDC this morning that's giving us a better look at the mental impact the coronavirus is having on Americans.
A survey done by the agency in the last week of June shows that more than 40% of Americans are struggling with mental health issues brought on by the pandemic. Of that group, 31% said that they'd experienced symptoms of anxiety or depression. 26% said they'd had trauma or stress-related disorder symptoms.
11% said they had seriously considered suicide in the last 30 days. 25% of those in the young adult group, that's the 18 to 24-year-olds, say they considered suicide in the last month. We're continuing the conversation about student well-being as lots of local districts plan a virtual start to the school year. We asked folks at the Madison School District how they're handling safety for kids staying home when it comes to mental health, the potential for domestic abuse, and more. I want to talk a little bit about domestic abuse. Wisconsin Domestic Abuse Intervention Services had said it was seeing an uptick in cases at the start of this quarantine period. How do you as a district even protect from that when your kids aren't in school to tell you if something's wrong?
We've been in contact with Child Protective Services and with Dane County Human Services, making sure that we're sort of all on the same page with our reporting process. All of our staff members are mandated reporters, and they're all trained annually in exactly what to look for. It's obviously a little bit different if instead of watching students' patterns of behavior and signs or symptoms of anything in a classroom, we're looking for that in a virtual space, but it's otherwise very much the same. So typically over the summer, unless a student is involved in our district programming, we wouldn't necessarily be directly in contact and doing much reporting. But as we resume our classes in our virtual spaces in September, we're going to be back in our usual routine. It's just that teachers will be making those observations and looking for anything concerning in virtual spaces. But otherwise, they're prepared to do that, and we're in partnership with those community agencies for that support as well.
What do you want families to know about how the school district's going to make sure that kids stay safe in their homes?
I think the most important fundamental thing is just making sure that all the adults connected with a student are helping make sure that they're making those social connections and establishing strong communication networks. And we're really hoping that as a school district, we're anchoring this in their classroom environments. And I believe that will be the case. Our teachers are highly skilled and ready to do that once schools open. And also extending into clubs and extracurriculars and other social settings. We need our students to have spaces where they can be honest, where they can share whatever they're feeling, whether it's a celebration or success or sadness or grief. They need to be able to communicate. And we're hoping that, through our more formal settings that we can provide that, but we want to partner with families to make sure that they're providing those informal places for students to share what they're feeling as well. The only other thing that I think is a part of helping them feel safe and have strong communication is helping them be in routines. And so the other thing that we're doing as a district, besides all the tiered supports and resources, we want to help our students and families be grounded in kind of daily routines and schedules and patterns, because we know that when things are predictable, it helps our students even further develop their confidence and self-esteem, which is critical in coping with everything that's going on.
Armando?
Yeah, I would want families to know that we have every single school has a team of student support professionals that are just open and ready to connect with them. And as we mentioned earlier, that includes everyone from the principal to the school psychologist, school social worker, school nurse, school counselor, school social worker. And those are folks that have an eye towards mental health supports, towards minimizing barriers that family might be increasing, and really just being proactive and making sure that we can support their young person so they can thrive and be successful in the future.
We will continue our conversation with the folks at Madison schools coming up in our next half hour. Specifically, we will ask them about the mental health of Madison kids and how they're handling concerns of depression and even suicide.
So we know you have a lot of questions out there about how back to school is going to look, especially when it comes to the health and safety of your kids, if kids have to go back. So that is why on Monday, we're going to have UW Health's Dr. Jeff Pothoff live on News 3 this morning. So he's going to answer your questions. Let us know what you want us to talk to him about. Post those questions on Facebook or other social media platforms, and we'll be sure to get to as many of them as we can. Again, that's happening next Monday during our 6 o'clock hour. For students who will be learning virtually this year, the YMCA is launching a child care program. Starting September 8th, the Collaborative Learning Program will be available at 7 Dane County locations to give students a place to learn while their parents are working. It'll run Mondays through Fridays from 7:30 in the morning until 5:30 p.m. They'll have daily health screenings for students and staff, plus social distancing and enhanced cleaning. Class sizes will be 15 students and 2 staff.
If they have questions about that, they'll be working with them to make sure that they can help assist in any way. So it's really going to be working in conjunction with that virtual teacher to provide the best result possible.
Westover says Epic is giving them access to their old headquarters on Tokay Boulevard to use as a child care facility, and the YMCA also has access to some school sites. If you're interested in registering, go to ymcadane.org. There is some financial assistance available as well to cover the $200 weekly payment.
Demand for hand sanitizer is still on the rise, especially as kids return to school. But as we've seen in the last few weeks with warnings from the FDA, some of these sanitizers could be dangerous. Experts say the best way to stay safe is to check the label before you buy. You're going to want a sanitizer that's at least 60% ethyl alcohol. Anything below that won't get the job done. Sanitizers containing methanol are the ones you want to avoid as they can be toxic. They also advise against using hand sanitizer dozens of times a day as that can reduce its effectiveness.
6 minutes past the hour on this Friday morning, we check in with Hattie with a look at the forecast. It's been pretty quiet around here so far this week, but not so quiet down in the tropics.
Yeah, pretty active in the Atlantic oceans as far as tropical weather is concerned. Right now, we're keeping our eye on some possible development just off of the Carolinas. No storm just yet, but we're watching that one. Also, the 10th storm of the season named now, Tropical Storm Josephine. This is the earliest that has ever occurred in the Atlantic hurricane season. So very active so far. Tropical Storm Josephine right now is moving to the west-northwest at 17 miles an hour. The winds are 40 miles an hour. Now, this really doesn't pose any major threats to land. It'll come close to the leeward eye winds as we head into Sunday morning, but then it takes a turn towards the north or even a little bit farther to the north and east, staying well away from the coast of the U.S. So that is the good news. Here's a look at our weather closer to home. We don't have to worry about any tropical moisture, but it is going to start to feel a bit more humid today. Watching some showers and thunderstorms roll across central and northern Minnesota, beginning to fall apart some as they spread into northwestern Wisconsin. The southern part of the state completely dry right now. Another area of development, though, that has prompted a severe thunderstorm watch in North Dakota this morning. These showers and thunderstorms are out ahead of our next weather system that will impact southern Wisconsin. They're right along cold front, and that front is going to be moving through the state on Saturday. So it will bring chances for rain to the southern part of the state early in the day on Saturday and then into the afternoon. Our temperatures this morning, we've been pretty steady. 59 here in Madison, 56 in the Dells, Janesville and Monroe and Platteville. You're all in the 60s this morning. Dew points, well, they're going to be in the 60s today as well, so the humidity is definitely going to be noticeable today. Your future track forecast model, though, keeping things dry through the day today. Even though there's all that rain to the north, southeasterly winds are going to keep it out of the area, so look for high temperatures in the mid-80s later on this afternoon with plenty of sunshine. Rain chances, again, don't hit southern Wisconsin until Saturday. Here's a look at that extended forecast then. Once we make it through the chances for rain on Saturday, things really quiet down and even cool down a little bit. It's going to be very comfortable with daytime highs in the 70s for most of next week.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Certainly doesn't.
Thanks, Addie. Well, we'll have to wait until next month for our chance to find out if a new coronavirus relief bill will happen. The Senate just began its August recess. That recess was supposed to begin last week, but Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell kept the chamber an extra week in an attempt to reach a deal. They didn't come to one, though. According to The Hill, senators argued that there was no reason to delay the recess any longer because they'd reached a stalemate. The Senate will return with 24-hour notice if something happens. If not, the Senate will plan to return on September 8th. The House is already in recess. They're expected to return September 14th.
President Trump says he will block more funding for the U.S. Postal Service to prevent mail-in voting from being expanded if Democrats don't make a bigger deal on the coronavirus stimulus package. But Democrats say they won't accept a stimulus package without more funding for the USPS. The USPS is $160 billion in debt right now. The president opposes the extra funding, but says he won't let that get in the way of signing any potential deal.
Despite his claims of mail-in voter fraud, the president and first lady have both requested absentee ballots for Florida's primary election next week. Developing right now, records from the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections show ballots were mailed to the president's permanent residence in Mar-a-Lago. The White House Deputy Press Secretary says the president does support absentee voting, just not universal mail-in voting. Election experts say there is no real difference between an absentee and mail-in ballot, and that they are essentially the same thing. 6:10 is your time right now. Let's take a look at your first warn traffic on a Friday morning as you head out across the Madison Metro. Beltline looking good so far. A few slowdowns on Park Street near West Wash, East Washington Avenue. A few slowdowns as you approach Highway 30 and Highway 51 as well. Downtown area looking good. When you're hopping on the Beltline, moving at posted speeds west of the interstate. That's your first warn traffic.
Just about 6:11 now. A local fire department says its nearly 150 years of service are coming to an end. We'll tell you why after the break.
And it looks like some movie theaters are about to reopen. We'll tell you when AMC says it plans to be back up and running in Wisconsin, when News 3 Now This Morning returns.
Summer savings is on now at Sloan Implement. Get a John Deere and your supersized Sloan deal. Get 0% for 84 months when you pre-order your new John Deere 1025R. Get a John Deere now during summer savings.
Let us help you create your family's recipe for health. SSM Health and News 3 Now are making it easy by putting all the ingredients right at your fingertips. With topics like healthy habits, nutrition, and mental well-being, there's something for everyone. Visit Channel 3000's Time for Kids page for advice from SSM Health experts.
And catch fresh and informative reports on News 3 Now.
Take time for kids with SSM Health and News 3 Now.
Dreaming of custom furniture, but you think high prices, sales pressure, and waiting for months and months? Come to Slumberland and design your way. Quick and easy, with no extra cost. First, pick your piece. Lots of styles, clearly marked. Next, pick your fabric. There's no extra charge here. Then, get it quick. Our orders are made fast. Plus, all custom furniture is on sale. Design your way, only at Slumberland Furniture.
You wash your cars and clothes and canines. You wash your cars and clothes and canines. You wash your cars and clothes and canines. At the Magic Wash. At the Magic Wash. Whoa.
Dear Summer, how do I make the most of you? Do I kick back and relax? Or climb new mountains? I could go and get dirty. Or switch into new lanes. One thing's for sure, it's gonna be great. Can't wait. Toyota.
Right now, you can get 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new 2020 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid. Toyota.
When a student falls behind, a good teacher helps them catch up. A bad president would tie their hands, like Joe Biden would. Even with hundreds of public schools closed indefinitely, Biden opposes emergency parental choice grants, preventing parents from choosing options like private tutoring or charter schools if their public school is closed. A lost year is unacceptable, but 4 under Biden, that's a lost generation. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Summer savings is on now at Sloan Implement. Get a John Deere and your supersized Sloan deal. Get 0% for 84 months when you pre-order your new John Deere 1025R. Get a John Deere now during summer savings. Powered up with Sloan.
Welcome back. With a lack of volunteer members, a long-standing fire department in Dodge County is discontinuing its services at the end of the year. The Woodland Fire Department is in the unincorporated community of Woodland in the towns of Herman and Rubicon. It's been serving as a rural community now for nearly 150 years. The fire chief says with less young people in the community, it's gotten harder to recruit volunteers. They currently have about 8 members who can regularly respond to calls, while he says that number should be closer to 30.
There's a lot of pride in the fire service. You had to swallow a lot of pride and realize that you can't do something. We've been doing fine so far, but we don't want to get to the point where we can't get the job done.
The Wisconsin State Firefighters Association says this struggle isn't unique to Woodland. Other fire departments, especially rural communities with shrinking youth populations, are struggling to recruit volunteers as well.
Breaking overnight, Madison police are looking for a man this morning after a Metro bus driver was pepper sprayed in the face. It happened just before 9:30 last night on Commercial Avenue near Nakusa Trail. Police say the suspect sprayed the driver after he was not allowed to board the bus from the front door, but a man in a wheelchair was. Current COVID restrictions do not allow passengers to enter Metro buses from the front entrance unless they have a special need. The man argued with the driver before spraying him twice and running away. Police say the suspect was a man about 50 years old wearing a beige coat over a white shirt and brown shorts. Anyone with information should call Madison Area Crime Stoppers.
A Wisconsin man is pleading guilty to vandalizing a synagogue last year as part of a neo-Nazi plot. Federal prosecutors say 22-year-old Yusef Brosna is facing federal civil rights charges for spray painting a synagogue in Oak Creek last September. The graffiti included anti-Semitic words, phrases, and a swastika. Court documents say Brosna was a part of a white supremacist group known as the Base, and according to authorities, he took part in online discussions with fellow members of the group, making plans to threaten and intimidate Jewish and African Americans.
The White House is striking up a major peace deal between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. The agreement makes the UAE the first Gulf Arab state to set up full diplomatic ties with Israel. The deal calls for Israel and the UAE to sign a series of bilateral agreements on issues like tourism, security, and energy. In exchange for the normalization of relations, Israel will halt plans for building settlements in the disputed West Bank region. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called it a historic day.
6:16 right now. Hattie's out on the Hattie-O patio this morning. Really a beautiful start to this Friday. A little bit more humidity out there this morning, Hattie.
It is, Josh. The air is thick, and I was just looking around because there is not a leaf stirring in the patio. It is extremely calm outside this morning. Skies are clear, though. Lots of sunshine is in our forecast. Take a look at our current conditions here in Madison. 59 degrees. Again, there's that calm wind. Dew point is 59 as well, so relative humidity is 100%. Relative humidity is typically highest in the early morning hours. That, of course, will drop a little bit as we go into the afternoon, but I think you're going to notice the humidity today. It is going to be a warm one across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures all across the region starting off in the 50s and 60s. 60s mainly in the southwestern corner of the state. As you head out the door this morning, look for a pretty quick warm-up. Temperatures will reach a high of 85 with heat index values close to 90 this afternoon. If you're thinking about hitting the lakes this weekend, here is your forecast. Mendota and Monona looking good. All beaches open. On Wabisa, McDaniel Beach is closed, and on Lake Wingra, Vilas Beach is closed, but water quality is good right now. Saturday, you may want to keep an eye on the radar map. Download that Channel 3000 First Warn weather app so you can keep an eye on the radar. There will be some showers and even a few thunderstorms through the morning and afternoon. Sunday, though, looks like your best day of the weekend to hit the water. 80 degrees with partly sunny skies.
All right. Thank you, Hattie. That looks really nice. 6:18, a record 30 businesses will be participating in Madison's 5th annual Black Restaurant Week, which kicks off this weekend.
Since last summer, Madison's Black Chamber of Commerce says the city has gained several Black-run catering businesses, which have been added to this year's lineup. Because of the coronavirus this year, the Black Chamber of Commerce taking the week virtual. They launched an app called Marketplace BRW, which is going to allow customers to pre-order items from participating businesses. The app launches this Sunday, the day Black Restaurant Week officially begins. Pre-order sales run through the 19th.
Dine-in, takeout, delivery, those deals all run 1 week from Sunday, the 23rd. You can head to our website or our app on your phone to find a list of all the Black-owned restaurants, food carts, and caterers participating. So AMC once again has a plan to reopen its theaters. So next week, more than 100 locations will open up across the country. Ones in Wisconsin will wait just a little bit longer. Get this, tickets are going to be just 15 cents for the first day. That'll be August 20th for those locations opening up first. So if you want to go see a movie when they're open, you will have to wear a mask. Those theaters will also have lowered capacity and upgraded ventilation systems. It'll be a couple more weeks before these locations in Wisconsin reopen, though. The AMC in Baraboo is going to open back up on the 27th, and the ones in Madison and Johnson Creek are scheduled to open up on September 3rd.
We talked about this earlier, 15 cents, pretty attractive.
That's a hard deal to pass up. I don't know. I'd want to... I don't know. I got to see what it's going to look like first before I would be willing to go.
I might just go for the Sour Patch Kids because you never really eat that candy outside of the movie theater.
Here's my $10. Can I have some Sour Patch Kids, please? And then take off.
It is kind of true, though. Like, that's the only time I usually buy candy and, like, get a pop. Like, I always get a Sprite. I never drink pop, but for some reason when I'm there, I do, so.
Or do you ever eat popcorn at home? I don't.
It's just not the same.
It's not the same.
You got to have that movie theater butter. That's what makes it.
Exactly.
All right, 6:20 is your time, guys. And we are taking time every day this week to help you and your family prepare to go back to school, whether that's in person or online.
Coming up in our next half hour, we're having a conversation with the Madison School District about what it's doing to help protect your students' mental health this semester. Stay with us.
News 3 Now closed captioning is sponsored by Wells Asphalt Paving.
Rest comfortably with brands you can trust at Wanakee Furniture ETC. Create a unique and stylish room with made-in-the-USA products from companies like Smith Brothers of Bern. Select from a wide variety of sofas at a great price.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
Joe Biden says,
if you elect me, your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
That means middle-class families, small businesses, and seniors pay higher taxes. It's the biggest tax increase in history.
Citizenship for 11 million undocumented folks.
That means 11 million illegal immigrants competing for American jobs, eligible for free health care, Social Security, and Medicare. America can't afford Joe Biden.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Who am I? Wow, is that really me?
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. So celebrate this Labor Day knowing you look your best with Plexiderm. Lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video that the viewers can watch while you and I talk. And you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock. And what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes in as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. And I did this to my father. We were at home and we were screaming. 4 minutes, 34 seconds, completely gone.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. These lines bother me. They really do. And this is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It feels great. Looks even better.
I'm Neela. I'm 61 years old. I'm a professional personal trainer. It's so important to be in good health and to be fit and take care of yourself. How it makes you feel inside is amazing. Plexiderm, seriously, it fixes all that. It makes you feel as good outside as you do inside. Honest to God, it's amazing. There's nothing there. Like, the bags are gone.
And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. So it targets all those problem areas.
So this would be a daily thing or just when you want to, like, get rid of the bags?
Yeah, it absolutely could be a daily thing. You have high school reunions, you have events you want to go to, you want to look years younger, this is it.
And this Labor Day is the best time to try Plexiderm for $14.95. See it work for yourself after your first application. Just visit plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
Let the design team at Wanakee Furniture ETC help you find your inspiration and transform your room. Every style, every budget, our creativity, passion, and expertise will help you design your dream space.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
All right, we want to thank Gwen for sharing her morning with us. A beautiful sunrise over some glassy water here. Thank you so much for sending it in, Gwen. Do the same, folks. We'd love to see what you're up to in the morning. Snap a pic, post it on our social media pages. Just make sure to use the hashtag MyNews3Morning.
So, guys, I thought I've seen it all, but this next story is going to be very, very special. We've all had this happen, right? Your phone's about to die, your charger's out of reach, and you don't want to get up. Well, that slight inconvenience could soon be a thing of the past. That's because researchers in Korea have invented a case that lets your smartphone crawl to a charger when the battery is low. They call it the case crawler.
Yikes.
Right now, the case crawler can only scamper forward in the direction of a charging pad if it's set on your desk. Now, in the future, developers hope the miniature robot will be able to return to the owner when fully charged.
This little guy's going to show up in my nightmares tonight. It's terrifying.
It's creepy, isn't it?
That's really creepy. It took me forever just to get used to like the robot vacuums going across the floor.
Right, but those are normalized now, so
That's
maybe
normal.
we'll start seeing these.
Could it bring me some snacks?
Ooh, see, I
How
would
lazy
rather have
are
that
we?
happen.
Seriously.
Our producer made the point of calling this a slight inconvenience because he said he could not justify calling it a problem, considering the world we live in.
I am so glad our scientists are working to address the world's real problems.
For real.
I will say, whenever I'm like wanting to like take some time away from my phone, I always put my phone across this room because I know I'm going to be too lazy to get up and check it. So 2020, people, it's 2020. All right, let's take a look at the forecast. And Hattie, you've got an interesting pet walk for us today.
I do, yeah. We're off to kind of a hazy start in Platteville this morning as well. But here's our pet walk forecast. This is Kato.
Oh.
What a cute. Looks like Kato got a haircut. 85, that's probably a good thing. It's going to be a little on the humid side
Kato
today.
looked human-like there a little bit.
Very cute. There is a chance for rain on Saturday. Here's early Saturday morning. That front moves through the afternoon hours.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I want a client who comes in to feel comfortable and to know that their case is in good hands so they can relax and get on with their life as best as they can and let me do the fighting for them. That's how I want them to feel.
Gingras, Thompson and Walks.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. I tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. 15 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I back MyPillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota.
I really like the fact that it was made in the USA. I think that USA products are a better quality product. I've tried a lot of other pillows and nothing's worked like MyPillow.
I'm interrupting this commercial right now to give you deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but also my mattress toppers, sheets, and so much more. For example, you can get body pillows regularly $89.99, now only $29.99, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
I used to think that sheets were just sheets. I got the Giza Dream sheets. They are the most comfortable sheets I've ever had.
The Go Anywhere pillow is so easy to just roll up and take anywhere I want to go.
Go Anywhere pillow is really comfortable, so that's what I really like. It's nice and supportive and it's nice and small.
The MyPillow topper, for the first time, has enabled me to have a cool night's sleep. I'm able to go to bed and just get rest.
That's 3 inches of wonderful that's in the MyPillow mattress topper. It's just like a firm cloud.
MyPillow helps me get a good night's sleep so I can do my job in the morning.
Go to MyPillow.com to get deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but so much more. For example, you get body pillows regularly $89.99, now only $29.99, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
A1 Furniture and Mattress on Stoughton Road is now open. Family owned for 3 generations, the Canarella family offers the best prices, service, and selection in town. That's why we're A1, locally owned and operated since 1980.
Let's summer. Let's dine out by truly dining out. Let's serve up the freshest of food with a side of fresh air. And save a little money without sacrificing the savory. Let's raise our tongues to tasty by introducing our grills to new thrills and make mouths water more than a backyard slip and slide. Let's live a little more more by having another s'more. Because summer is here, and no one does summer savings like Festival Foods.
3 masks for each day. We'll tell you the new suggestions from teachers for your back-to-school shopping list.
And it's heating up today. We're talking heat index in the forecast. I'll tell you how hot it's going to be in just a few minutes.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks. Happy Friday. Thanks for joining us on this August 14th. Back to school. We continue to cover it, and you know it's going to look very different for every family this year.
Yeah, it sure will. Whether your kids are going back in person or virtually, your back-to-school shopping list could have some new additions to it. So here are some things you might consider buying before the start of the semester. First up, you'll still need those basics. Kids will still need notebooks and pencils and folders. They'll need to stay organized, whether they're in person or at home, right? Next, the new basics like hand sanitizer and face coverings. These are more important for students going to in-person classes, of course, but still useful for anyone leaving their home during the pandemic. Teachers recommend getting 10 to 15 masks for your kid, masks that your kids are comfortable with too. They might need a couple, 2 or 3 a day. Kids can be messy, so it's always good to have a backup just in case.
These next few items won't be as easy for some families to access. They're things like broadband and a device that can connect to the internet. The Pew Research Center finds 1 in 5 parents expect their kids will have to use public Wi-Fi to finish their coursework since they don't have a good connection at home. For lower-income parents, that statistic doubles. We've been talking about these barriers to access throughout our back-to-school coverage. Up right now on channel3000.com, we have a closer look at who's more at risk of getting left behind.
At least 1,200 students and staff in one Georgia school district are quarantining this morning. Now at least 2 high schools in the Cherokee County School District will go virtual for the time being. Not too far away in Paulding County, a state representative is setting up a whistleblower hotline. It's for students and staff to report unsafe conditions. The move comes after a student was suspended for sharing a photo of crowded hallways at her school. She's since been allowed back to class. At least 35 cases have been confirmed in that district. And it's a big day for families and teachers in Florida. A circuit court judge could dismiss a challenge to a state mandate to reopen all schools. A teachers union is behind that lawsuit. Politico reports local teachers unions are also suing their school districts over reopening plans. At least 1 classroom and several students have been quarantined during the week's first wave of reopenings in Florida. The State Department of Education's hardline mandate requires school to reopen buildings by the end of the month. Some counties have pushed back against that order, though. Most are getting ready to offer a hybrid model.
More than 6,000 students will be back in the classroom in one area school district this fall. The Janesville School District says 70% of families plan to put their kids back in school starting September 1st. Families in the district have the option for their children to learn online, in person, or a mix of both. All students and staff will be required to wear masks and keep students separated from each other wherever possible. Voters in the Janesville School District will see 2 new referenda on their ballots this fall. Our partners at the Janesville Gazette report the first is a $22.5 million capital referendum. If passed, it would add safety and security measures at school buildings. This would mean a $5 increase on every $100,000 of property value every year for the next 20 years, or whenever that debt is paid off. The second is a $37 million operational referendum. It would help maintain programs and services, salaries, and other costs. This one would cost you an increasing amount each year over 4 years. You can see the breakdown right there on your screen. We also have more information on these referenda up on channel3000.com.
An update now to a story we first told you about yesterday. President Donald Trump says he is against additional funding for the U.S. Postal Service because it would expand mail-in voting.
We don't make a deal. That means they don't get the money. That means they can't have universal mail-in voting.
The president says the proposed $25 billion from Democrats is one of the reasons talks for the next stimulus package have stalled. The CARES Act gave the Postal Service a $10 billion loan, but now Democrats say they won't accept a stimulus package without more funding for the USPS. USPS's $160 billion in debt.
The Postal Service is expecting a record number of mail-in ballots this November. Despite that anticipated surge, USPS plans to remove hundreds of high-volume mail processing machines from facilities across the country. The agency started removing some of those nearly 700 machines in June. They can sort up to 30,000 mail items, and they do take 2 postal workers to run. The USPS hasn't given an official explanation for that decision. Around the state, local postal workers say the Trump administration and the Postmaster General are undermining the institution. The Milwaukee Chamber of the American Postal Workers Union says removing those sorting machines and cutting overtime will cause severe delays. This doesn't apply just to mail-in ballots. It applies to prescriptions and unemployment payments as well.
In Pennsylvania, the Postal Service says state mail-in ballot laws could cause some votes not to be counted. The current law also allows voters to request a ballot as late as 7 days before the election. The USPS says people who request ballots close to the deadline won't get their ballots mailed in time. Even if ballots were sent first class, it would still take 2 to 5 days to be delivered. Counties aren't allowed to count ballots after Election Day. The State Department, though, wants the state Supreme Court to allow the ballots to be counted if counties get them up to 3 days after the election, as long as they were postmarked by Election Day.
In a major shift, a new poll finds just under half of Americans expect to have trouble voting in the upcoming election. This is a massive spike from the Pew Research Center's data from 2018. Only 15% of voters anticipated difficulties voting that year. 50% of registered voters expect it to be either very or somewhat easy to vote. That's down from 85% in October of 2018. There is a deep partisan divide in these findings. 60% of people supporting Joe Biden say they think voting will be hard in November. Among Trump supporters, 35% said the same thing.
Just about 6:36 on a Friday morning, Hattie joins us with a look at the forecast, and you've got the 3 things to know. Definitely going to notice that heat index today.
You certainly are. Yes, Josh, it's getting a little bit more humid around here, and temperatures will climb into the mid-80s today. So heat index value just a little bit higher than that, close to 90 this afternoon. We still have a chance for rain in the forecast, and that comes on Saturday, mainly during the morning and afternoon hours for south central Wisconsin. After that, the weather pattern looks very quiet, dry weather into next week. Now, here's a look at what's happening right now on the radar map. We have some showers and thunderstorms across Minnesota. Nothing severe with those storms just yet. Further back to the west in North Dakota, there is a severe thunderstorm watch box out. That is our next weather maker that will work its way across Minnesota today and into Wisconsin for tomorrow. So our severe weather outlook does picture or point an enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms. Minneapolis points to the west and northwest. Pretty quiet for southern Wisconsin today and tomorrow. There will be some thunderstorms, but the risk for severe weather is relatively low. We're not expecting any severe thunderstorms for south central Wisconsin. Maybe a marginal risk for the far southeastern corner of the state. Future track forecast model starting at 10 p.m. tonight, showing you a line of showers and thunderstorms moving into western Wisconsin. That line will weaken some as we head into the morning hours, but by midday Saturday, we'll look for a little bit of redevelopment through south central Wisconsin. So definitely not out of the question to hear some thunder tomorrow. There may be some brief gusty winds up to around 50 miles an hour, but that front moves through pretty quickly, and already by Saturday evening, things are quiet. Here's a look at where we start this morning. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s. Warmest temperatures are in the southwestern corner of the state, where we've been 60s all morning. Dew points, speaking of 60s, well, they'll be in the 60s today as well. So you're definitely going to notice that increase in the humidity. Future track heat index numbers. This is what it'll feel like at 4 p.m. this afternoon. Feeling like 89 here in Madison. Some spots close to 90 degrees, especially through the Wisconsin River Valley. So it is going to heat up this afternoon. Our forecast, though, calls for a nice cool down. Very comfortable conditions as we head into next week. Highs in the 70s starting on Monday with lots of sunshine. So getting through Saturday, that's our only chance for rain out of the next week.
Thanks, Addie. 6:38 right now. A Wisconsin protester is facing a $760 invoice for organizing an event. Hannah London says she organized 8 total protests in Green Bay. The village of Ashwaubenon is now sending her an invoice. It says London needed a special event permit to hold that rally. However, those require at least a 45-day notice. London's lawyer says this kind of event can't apply to demonstrations without impacting a citizen's right to free speech. The village president tells our affiliate in Green Bay that they're treating her like anyone else who hosts an event.
2020 has been a hard year for all of us in one way or another, right? Well, one Wisconsin brewery is putting those frustrations into a new beer. The Journal-Sentinel reports it took less than a day for Stillmank Brewing to sell more than half of its pre-sale stock. Its name, not TV friendly, but it's something like "Welcome to the Beep Show." The design includes a green dumpster fire with 2020 on it. If you didn't get it in the pre-sale, you can buy the rest starting at 3 today in the brewery's tap room. It is first come, first serve.
I hope it tastes better than the name implies.
Oh yeah, and so I love the idea that it's a dumpster fire.
I know, pretty accurate, right?
It is very
Quite clever,
accurate.
huh?
Chris, well, if you don't have future and news anchoring, you have one with the bleeping.
Sound effects.
We could use you, yeah.
Oh, love it. Yes. All right, 6:39 right now. Let's take a look at your traffic this morning. Luckily, I don't think you're going to have to be bleeping anything out as you head out on the roads this morning. There's a look at Dane County right now. Really no delays to speak of. Maybe a couple delays on the Beltline near Park Street. Janesville looks like a few slowdowns on Highway 14 as you approach Janesville from the west, but the interstate looking good. Only 24 minutes from Janesville to the Beltline. Live look outside on a Friday morning. Beautiful forecast and a beautiful shot from the Edgewater Skycam at downtown Madison. Hattie, we'll have a look at your weekend forecast coming up here in just a few minutes.
But first, we're having a conversation with the Madison School District about what it's doing to help protect your students' mental health this semester. That's coming up on News 3 Now this morning.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is here with great offers on a huge selection, like 0% APR financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. And get peace of mind with the Ford Promise. It's summer, so grab the family and head out. It's easier now during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 72 months, plus the peace of mind of the Ford Promise. See your local Ford dealer today.
We're seeing it again. The virus spreading out of control. The president once again failing to act. Joe Biden knows we need to listen to medical experts and take action now. That starts by expanding testing, calling for mask mandates nationwide starting immediately, and producing more protective gear here at home. Fighting this virus and rebuilding our economy will take a president who's ready to lead.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, Baca Enterprises is truly humbled and thankful to all of our employees, residents, families, and vendors for their patience and cooperation.
Our employees have gone above and beyond with sanitation efforts, altering their daily routines, all while spreading joy and happiness throughout our community.
As you look forward to the future, Beaver Dam Assisted Living will be here for you.
To provide a sense of security and to provide comfort by keeping you safe and healthy.
Together, we're moving forward to help you live life with confidence. Call today to schedule your tour.
Are you one of the 100 million Americans that suffer from chronic pain? Hi there, my name is Tim O'Brien, owner of The Healthy Place. I want you to know about an all-natural product called Cura Relief. With nutrients like boswellia and curcumin, it targets the root of your pain, inflammation. Most people feel a difference in less than 45 minutes. Stop the pain and the drugs naturally with Cura Relief. Stop by one of our 4 Madison-based locations or check us out online at findyourhealthyplace.com. The Healthy Place.
Great decision on your new windows. Buy one, get one won't last long.
Have you always been so passionate about windows?
Felco's buy one, get one free windows is totally rad. Felco's energy efficient windows are a must in every home. So hurry, call now.
You could say that.
Buy one window, get one free, and get no interest for 1 year.
Buy one, get one free, and soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Felco.
Trust us to get it right. These storms are capable of producing some heavy rain and maybe some hail.
To keep you prepared
when severe weather is on the way. We have an alert day in the forecast for this evening for strong to possibly severe thunderstorms, hail, high winds, perhaps even an isolated tornado can't be ruled out.
And your family's safety is on the line. You need to seek shelter immediately.
Our team and technology are ready to help you stay safe.
Trust the First Warn Weather Team on News 3 Now.
We're back at 6:43. As people try to manage the COVID-19 pandemic here in the U.S., Americans are also dealing with a crisis we don't talk too much about. A new CDC survey finds almost 41% of respondents are struggling with mental health issues right now. These can be issues related to the pandemic or measures put into place to contain it. The group interviewed more than 5,000 adults at the end of June, and they found that 31% say that they've experienced anxiety or depression. 26% say that they've experienced trauma or stress-related disorder symptoms. 11% said that they had seriously considered even suicide.
This issue isn't only impacting adults, it affects kids too. And schools are often a place where kids can find support for concerns about mental health, like anxiety, depression, or even those thoughts about suicide. We sat down with leaders from the Madison School District to hear how they're planning to keep kids safe while they're at home this fall. All right, gentlemen, let's begin. So we know that schools act as sort of a safe space for our students, but with this online start to the school year, what is the district doing to keep students safe?
Great question, Leah, and that's something we've been thinking about for months now. And obviously, every school year starts with a focus on relationships and building strong communities. And we want every one of our students to feel safe and a true sense of belonging. And this year, that's more true than ever. We know that our virtual spaces won't be exactly the same, but we do believe that we can create those same strong relationships and build strong connections and community in our virtual spaces. COVID has obviously resulted in high levels of stress for most of us. And when you combine the stress with, in some cases, some existing mental health concerns or other sources of distress, including race-based trauma, it becomes even more critical that we're ready to provide a full range of intentional supports. An example of that was with racial trauma over the course of the summer. Our coaches provided affinity spaces for many of our students to process that. Helping again leverage strong existing relationships in virtual spaces to to process and heal.
So the director of the CDC had said in a recent interview with an institute that suicide rates among teens are increasing. He did not provide where he received that data, but is A, this a trend you're seeing, and B, is this something you're also worried about?
Given that we're acknowledging the high levels of stress on almost everyone at this time, it's logical to expect that there would be an uptick. Our district uses a program that does screen our students' web activity for anything that involves self-harm, bullying, any other threats or suicidal ideation. And it's just a simple web filter so that whenever they're on, their district devices or logged into their student account, that software will trigger if they see something that's concerning. And then through our programming, we have therapists that will actually then look for context of what that search included. And when needed, 24/7, they'll then alert our district team so that we can intervene. And that data would provide us a pretty true measure of an uptick, and we haven't seen an uptick over the course of the summer. Some of that can also include, that it's summer and students are perhaps on their devices less. But we feel that we do have a pretty strong support system to be proactive and intervene whenever a student is starting to feel some of those things.
So we are continuing the conversation here on News 3 Now with more of this interview up on channel3000.com. But we also want to take a minute and provide some more resources. If you or someone you know needs help, you can call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That is at 800-273-TALK, or message the crisis text line at 741-741. Both programs provide free confidential support 24/7.